Timothy and I would play one myth out after another. And most of the time we were these adventurers, just doing some wild adventure. Like driving our big Cadillac limousine that I had borrowed from my father, who ran a railroad, out to Sandoz to buy thousands of doses of acid. Yes. Somebody's censoring. Are we, yes? Huh? I can hold it anywhere and it doesn't happen. Yes, 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 yes. So I can know Timothy mythically, but because I've been working in the field of working with people that have been dying for a long time, Timothy had expressed the desire that he be downloaded onto his web page, and that suggested that we are information, which seemed a reasonably one of the interesting aspects of Timothy, but not the more profound ones. So when I went down to visit him a month ago, I guess, for a first of a series of visits, I had the feeling that maybe his model of what death was about, because he was really just downloading, was in for some surprises. And that he was maybe defending or denying or something. I always distrusted Timothy's deeper wisdom, I want you to know. It's part of the way we work together. Because it always upset my life so much. So when I went down, we did our usual social number of charming memories and what are you doing and wise, witty things. But I was concerned, and I went away from that meeting feeling I had come into cyberspace, and it was a different myth and a different metaphor for dying, and it was celebratory, and he had a wonderful salon, and God bless him. I mean, he was turning dying into a celebratory thing, which is a major statement for the society. I mean, all the stuff I've done in 20, 30 years, we've moved it from ICU wards to hospice and then maybe to something deep and profound, but to make it fun, what chutzpah. And that's threatening to the society. And then he listed all the chemicals he was using for pain reduction and pleasure. And the idea that you should have pleasure during your dying process. Even doctors, they can't handle that at all. So the next time I went down to see Tim, not the last, the next time, there was a moment where we looked into one another's eyes. And he had become, in the last few months, very, very tender and very emotionally available in a way I had never known him to be in all the years I'd known him. And I looked into his eyes, and we just kept going behind and behind and behind, and then I saw that this theater production of dying was just one out here, and that behind it Timothy was not only the adventurer, he was just the awareness being with what was unfolding. And from my point of view, in all the work I've done with dying, the closest analogy I often have is to a Maha acid trip. It's a moment when the mind starts to dissolve its boundaries, when habits fall away, when there is an opening in which awareness soars, but if the awareness clings to anything, it gets caught and gets frightened. And that's what the Tibetan Book of the Dead and all that stuff's about. And what I felt in Timothy was not that he wouldn't get stuck along the way, but that he was so deeply back in here that he would ride the waves quite beautifully. Because he had not only the adventurer, but he had a connection to the truth of being. And I'll tell you, Timothy was my first profound spiritual teacher. And I honor him very, very deeply. When he was dying, he said to me, Richard, he called me Richard, he said, Richard, I seem to be losing my memory. I said, yeah. He said, you know, memory's almost everything. I said, yep. He said, but you know, it's not everything. I said, yeah. He said, there's something else. I said, yeah. He said, but I forgot. Timothy and I couldn't agree on what happens after you die because the only thing we could agree on was that neither of us knew, because it was a mystery. So Timothy, wherever you are in this mystery, I honor you and I love you. We're going to take 2 minutes now for each person to be with Tim in whatever way you're comfortable, silently.